Today is June 12th, 2020. As I look out my window at the blue sky and the full trees, I hear the birds singing and think what a beautiful morning this is. I ponder my schedule for the day, making note of all the things there and sorting them into must do, should do, and want to do. I look forward to something at the end of the day, a check-in with loved ones later tonight. I imagine this must have been how the weekend of June 11th and 12th in 2016 started for some folks in Florida. On June 11th, they went about their days going to school and work and ticking off items on their to-do lists while looking forward to a fun evening out at the Pulse Nightclub, a popular LGBTQ spot in Orlando. A place where they could hang out and dance and party and escape the discrimination and judgment that sadly comes with having a marginalized identity while living in America. But it didn't turn out that way. For too many, it was a night of horror and unimaginable violence. At around 2:00 a.m. on Sunday morning, June 12th, 2016, Omar Mateen walked into the crowded Pulse Club and just started shooting, killing 49 people and wounding 68 others. For almost 3 hours, people still trapped in the club frantically and desperately called, texted, and messaged friends until finally police crashed into the building with an armored vehicle and killed Mateen. Today, our news is filled with stories of the racial justice protests triggered by the death of George Floyd. That too was horrific and unimaginable. Today, as we protest for justice and equality for all, let us not forget the brutal act of homophobia and hatred carried out on June 12, 2016. Let us remember those who were lost and those whose lives were forever changed on that night. We have much work to do in this country if we are to live up to the promise of liberty and justice for all. Let's start with a period of introspection. How do we, each of us, perpetuate homophobia, racism, or injustice? How can we as individuals be different? Ask yourself, how can you be an ally, advocate, or accomplice to those with marginalized identities who experience discrimination in our society? Remember, we all have 3 powerful tools to fight injustice: our voice, our vote, and our resources. Let's use them in any way we can. I want to leave you with a piece written by Reverend Ann Barker that resonates in my heart in these times. May you find meaning and encouragement in it as well. When the Unimaginable Happened, by Reverend Ann Barker. When we heard the news, saw the wreckage, felt the paralyzing blow, our hearts broke open and spilled out into our hands. And there we were, watching our love seep between our fingers, watching our fragile love pour out all over us, watching our love seem to slip away. When the unimaginable happened, the ache that we felt as if love was being lost was the ache of love's despairing truth. This is the love that no one chooses, the loss so out of order, so profound, the love we did not ever want to know. And yet, the sources of this despair, the reason our hearts cleave and flow, is because they know fullness. This is the love of truth and beauty, love that spans the web of being, uniting each of us within its timeless form. When we heard the news, our hearts broken open, spilled into our hands, and there we stared at love, lamenting, What am I to do with this? And with these raw and tender yearnings, we will, beat after precious beat, seek wholeness again. It will take time to find our balance, to grieve if we will make room. Remember, friends, this is the right thing, this ache within our deepest beings. Know that all these things are normal to feel disrupted, empty, or undone. Our hearts broke open, and the love that is still true draws us once again together, story by story, step by step, into places of tender knowing and remembering to restore us, to mend us, piece by broken piece. This is the love that runs between us, sustaining force of restoration, the love that nourishes and feeds us, binds us each to our collective core. We grieve and march and weep and sing, and through the pain, but not despite it, love will repair us, not the same, but stronger in some places, honoring memories like treasures, living out our lives' potential in the shadows of the trespass, in the warmth of one another, in the light of what, restored, we will become.